Part 42. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 411. Forget it, I'll go and see too. When the truth comes out, I'll also add insult to injury, take advantage of others' misfortune, and point fingers from a moral high ground. Lu Yu felt relieved and caught up with the main group. Outside, the snow wolf was still galloping. Everyone followed closely. This scene attracted the attention of the entire Sifang Academy. Oh my god! The real murderer is about to be tracked down. Really? Absolutely true, I saw what the housemaster and the elders were tracking down. Sisters, go ahead, go get justice. Go. I don't know how many people heard the news and rushed over to catch up with most of them. The more people there were, the more excited the snow wolf was, and in the end it was almost running forward. Lu Yu followed behind him, listening to everyone's praise. At first he was complacent, and then he was indifferent. In the end, for some reason, he suddenly felt that something seemed a little wrong. This direction, why is it a bit like the way I came here? Lu Yu's eyes fell into deep thought, and after a while, he laughed at himself. I must have worried too much. I must. What did I do? I am not sure. Lu Yu's expression was extremely calm, and he continued to follow the large group. The snow wolf was holding Mingzi's clothes in its mouth, and it was extremely excited. Crossing mountains and ridges, the speed was getting faster and faster. Finally, it stopped at the foot of a mountain. Awoo! The snow wolf howled excitedly. Many people sneered at the sight. I guess this is the territory of the rapist. It must be so. The rapist must not know anything now, why go up and subdue him directly? I don't know how many people are angry, and the owner of the Galaxy Palace frowned and stared at the mountain. Everyone was like this, only Lu Yu, his expression was a little weird. This, isn't it my home? What the hell? Lu Yu was confused. The snow wolf had already rushed up again. Behind it, everyone followed, gritting their teeth. Seeing this, Lu Yu suddenly had a bad feeling in his heart. Soon, everyone reached the top of the mountain, where a small courtyard stood, and the snow wolf quickly climbed into the courtyard. Seeing this, an elder stepped forward and kicked the door open. Slut, come out and die. No one responded. This made the elder's expression change drastically. Ran away? Immediately, everyone rushed in. After a careful search, their faces looked ugly. Master, no one. As soon as this was said, everyone looked surprised. He actually ran away. This slut is really alert, someone said. Lu Yu. At this moment, Lu Yu stood behind the crowd, his eyes a little confused. No, why, did you all come to me? Ergu, what do you mean? At this time, the master of the mansion spoke. Whose yard is this? Whose yard? Whose yard? Everyone looked at each other, and finally Elder Han stood up. This, seems to be Lu Yu's. His tone was also a little unbelievable. Instantly, everyone looked back. Lu Yu's surroundings were empty at some point. Facing the gazes of the crowd, Lu Yu coughed. Everyone, I said this is a misunderstanding, do you believe it? Lu Yu blinked. No one spoke. This is really a misunderstanding, how can I have such a fetish? Lu Yu protested dissatisfiedly. Still no one spoke. Okay, I admit that I stole it. Wow! The best joke of the year, ha ha ha. Lu Yu has no time to commit a crime. I am so funny, no one really thinks Lu Yu would stoop to stealing underwear, right? Everyone burst into laughter, even the owner of the mansion was at a loss for words, Mingzi, and even a group of girls smiled. Whoever stole it, it couldn't be Lu Yu. Lu Yu. He was silent. When I told the truth, you didn't believe me. When I lied to you, why did you laugh so happily? Sure enough, his personality charm is too great, there's nothing we can do about it. Of course, I didn't steal it myself. Do I need to steal it? I just copied it directly. Lu Yu waved his hand and walked directly to the front of the snow wolf, rubbing the snow wolf's head gently. Sorry everyone, this is a misunderstanding. My dog obviously subconsciously brought everything home. Lu Yu smiled brightly. The snow wolf's face had been crumpled into a ball, and it ran away with a howl. When everyone saw this, they left one by one. Lu Yu did it? It's impossible. How could Lu Yu have time to commit a crime? Without hesitation, everyone left. Huh, it almost came out. Chapter 031536 Ways to Cook Dog Meat, Lan is not right. It almost came out. Seeing everyone leave, Lu Yu couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. What are you revealing, Lu Yu? Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 412. At some point, Mingzi came in from the door again. Seeing this, Lu Yu smiled calmly. Broken secret, in my home planet, means that it almost came true. Oh, that's it? What are you doing here? Lu Yu glanced at Mingzi. A pile of clothes appeared in Mingzi's hands. I'm getting clothes. Well, go back to bed early. Lu Yu sent Mingzi out again, locked the door, climbed up the wall and looked around, and completely relaxed. Damn, almost, Mingzi, why haven't you left yet? Lu Yu looked at Mingzi standing behind him and was startled. Well, Lu Yu, I have something to tell you. Say it, Lu Yu said indifferently. This girl is almost scared to death, better leave quickly. When Lu Yu was complaining in his heart, suddenly, Mingzi hugged him. Okay. Mingzi smiled and disappeared the next moment. This made Lu Yu a little confused. What's going on? This girl should leave this time, right? Lu Yu climbed up the wall and took a look, and was completely relieved. This time she will definitely. Lu Yu, do you want to give me a ride? Mingzi suddenly lay down next to Lu Yu. Lu Yu was startled and almost fell down. Okay. I'll go with you. He finally understood. If he didn't see this girl go back with his own eyes, he would not have peace today. Without hesitation, Lu Yu sent Mingzi home directly, and then rushed back at the speed of light. Leaning against the door, Lu Yu patted his chest. This time she will definitely. Lu Yu looked around worriedly. Well, no one. It's a close call, I almost got caught. Lu Yu finally said this. Are you kidding? There are still n pieces of clothes hidden in his system space. There are all those of the Lord of the Galaxy Palace. If they are found out, I will be chilled from head to toe. Chilled to the heart, my heart is flying. Shivering, Lu Yu suddenly thought of an important thing. This stupid dog, why did he bring people to me? Damn. Pitfalls, no, I don't have such a son. Pitfalls on the owner. Lu Yu was immediately furious. Without any hesitation, he caught the snow wolf back. Tell me, why did you bring people home? Don't howl, or I'll stew you directly. Lu Yu took out a whetstone and a dagger. Instantly, the flames flew. When the snow wolf saw this scene, its tail was tucked in and invisible. Ah! Okay, we can have dog meat hot pot tonight, thank you for your efforts. Lu Yu said, and stood up. At this time, the snow wolf suddenly turned around and ran under a tree in the yard. The next moment, it dug the soil frantically. In just less than 30 seconds, Lu Yu saw a touch of girlish pink in the dust. Looking at the handful of colorful personal items in the mouth of the snow wolf, Lu Yu rolled his Adam's apple. I'm losing my mind. Lu Yu drooled in pain. It's over, it's you who are the real murderer. In order not to leak the news, ergo, I can only send you away with tears, and have a good life in the next life. Host, a considerable part of the divine beast snow god Wolf King was influenced by you. Just when Lu Yu was about to open the dog meat hot pot, the sudden system voice came out. This made Lu Yu explode on the spot. What do you mean by influenced by me? Lu Yu laughed. When did this system copy clothes? It copied them by itself, and it was called the Glory Collection? Damn. You are shirking the blame. Lu Yu jumped up and down. The system was quite calm. No matter what, host, this has happened. The meat of the snow god Wolf King is not delicious. Then I want to eat it too. It's poisonous. I want to eat it too. Okay, I will help with the host's funeral and bury him in style. The last sentence of the system made Lu Yu take a deep breath. He looked at the many clothes in front of him, but the snow wolf, who was like a dog with its tail between its legs, suddenly had some moisture in the corners of his eyes. Forget it. No matter what, it happened. I'll bear it. Bear it. Remember, don't steal again in the future. Lu Yu said, and took out a toy dog. With a sizzling sound, the toy dog was directly split into two halves the next moment. Awooah! The snow wolf's eyes widened, and he couldn't help but take a few steps back. Seeing this, Lu Yu smiled evilly. Do you know? There are 36 ways to cook dog meat: steamed, braised, stir-fried, deep-fried, etc. Of course, there is also my favorite dog meat sashimi. If you dare to steal it next time, I will try it one by one for you. Lu Yu tried to make himself look a little fiercer, and said viciously. Seeing this, the snow wolf lay down, rolled over, and howled. Lu Yu knew that this was a sign of weakness for canines, but the child is grown up, so why not wear pants in the future? In terms of size, even my dog, Lu Yu, is of the same lineage. Lu Yu thought, and at this time, Ian's voice came from outside the yard. God. Lan, wait outside first, it's coming soon. After speaking, Lu Yu gave the snow wolf a slap. Bury it. If someone finds it in the future, I will make you lose the joy of being a stud dog, Lu Yu said. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yoon Jeon-mu Shue. Chapter 413. When Swalang heard this, he immediately buried the soil back. And Lu Yu opened the door. What's wrong, Lan? Well, I just saw that something seemed to have happened here, and I was worried, so I came to take a look. As she said this, Lan looked into the room. Lu Yu naturally blocked her view. Ha ha ha, Lan, you worry too much. Let's go to your place tonight. I'm about to cook a few dishes. Let's call Zing over and have a drink together. Lu Yu said. Are you kidding? No one else can be allowed to enter my yard in the future, even if Lan is very obedient. Otherwise, if someone uses some soul-searching technique to search my soul in the future, I'll be finished. The glorious image that I worked so hard to establish will be gone. Absolutely not. So, Lu Yu went to Ian's yard. Zing was also invited. Lu Yu took out some of the flesh and blood that he had treasured in the space wrist, made it into side dishes, and shared it. After 3 rounds of wine and 5 dishes, Lu Yu slowly breathed a sigh of relief when he saw Zing, who had already fallen down from the alcohol. Lan, come with me. Ah God, wasn't it just this afternoon? Ian's face was slightly red, and her eyes were blurry because of the wine. Seeing this, Lu Yu couldn't help rubbing his eyebrows. Why is this girl's mind full of that kind of thing now? Lu Yu, Am also a very serious person, okay. After criticizing Lan in his heart, Lu Yu suddenly asked a question. Lan, let me tell you a secret. The 10th generation queen of your God-given tribe is still alive. Chapter 0316 What do you want to do, Lu Yu? The yard is gone. The 10th generation queen of your God-given tribe is still alive. When Lan heard Lu Yu's words, she was stunned for a moment. There was some disbelief in her eyes. God, is it true? Of course it's true. Lu Yu waved his hand, and the next moment the body of the 10th generation God-given queen appeared directly. Lan was shocked when she saw this scene. She could easily sense that they were of the same blood. This was definitely a queen from the past. But, why was she so disheveled? God, the clothes on the queen. Lan hesitated. Lu Yu smiled faintly. There was no other way. I had to do this to save her. Lan. Her little head was a little confused. What does saving people have to do with tearing clothes? Where did you find the god? I picked it up on the road. Lu Yu looked indifferent. Hearing this, Ian's face became more and more confused. Oh, so that's the case. Well, that's it. We'll go to the God-given star in a few days. The queen of your tribe is not dead yet. She had fallen into a deep sleep at that time. Let's see if your mother has the means to revive her. Lu Yu said. He couldn't tell the truth now, and didn't know how to revive her. But if he took her to the God-given tribe, the God-given queen should have some way. Seeing this, Lan knelt down directly in front of Lu Yu, with crystal tears in her eyes. Thank you for taking care of the God-given people. What do you mean by picked it up on the road? This is too fake. God must have specially found the ancestors, and didn't want his God-given people to be too grateful, so he said this. Woohoo, I'm so touched. Lan was in tears. Lu Yu. Is this okay? After touching Ian's head, Lu Yu let her get up. Don't kneel so often in the future, your knees are red. Okay. Lan smiled brightly and nodded. Soon, Lu Yu sent Lan back to the room, and he walked out. Looking at Xing, who was still lying on the wine table, Lu Yu fell into deep thought. Really drunk? It seems that I can take the opportunity to go to bed, no, take the opportunity to carry her to bed. Yes, that's it. Lu Yu decisively went to Xing. Hey, 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 do you still feel it? Lu Yu poked Xing's head. Xing. No sound? Lu Yu felt relieved, and just when he was about to do it. Suddenly, Xing looked up. Lu Yu, what do you want to do? Halfway through the conversation, Xing's head fell on the table again. Lu Yu was startled. Damn, something almost happened. Mustering up his courage, this time Lu Yu held Xing's waist. Well, it's really thin. Lu Yu was very satisfied, and just when he was about to carry Xing in, Xing suddenly opened her eyes again. Lu Yu, what do you want to do? What do you say? Lu Yu smiled faintly. Seeing this, Xing's cheeks flushed. She was struggling in her heart. Lu Yu must be thinking about that. Should I agree to him? Yes. No. Or yes. Just when Xing was about to muster up her courage, suddenly, she was thrown to the ground. Well, you sleep on the floor tonight. Xing. She looked at Lu Yu, who climbed onto Ian's bed thoughtfully, with a look of resentment in her eyes. Lu Yu didn't care so much about this little girl, hugged Lan, and was thinking about other things. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 414. By the way, there are still 20 days before the local Galaxy Group competition begins. My realm has reached the 6th level of Tongxian, and I can almost raise my realm to the 7th level of Tongxian before leaving. The 7th level of Tongxian should be enough. If you win the local galaxy group competition, you can successfully get a place to go to the Great Wall. When the time comes, he will receive the inheritance left to him by the moon god Heavenly Court, and he will directly transform into a super invincible rich second generation. Wonderful. Lu Yu smiled. You will have money soon. It seems that you will have to do less robbing business in the future. After all, I can be considered one of the upper class people in the universe in the future. This kind of dark history should be avoided as much as possible and cleared up in advance. Well, not bad. Lu Yu's mood became even happier. While Lu Yu was busy thinking about the future, in the yard, Xuelang suddenly opened his eyes. Light erupted from its eyes. Silver-white hair shines in the moonlight. Coupled with those cold wolf eyes, it can be said to be the ultimate in martial arts. The next moment, Snow Wolf raised his feet and scratched his head. Ouch! The Snow Wolf became happy, ran into the pond again. On the wall, the Silver Cat looked at the Snow Wolf with slightly narrowed eyes. Meow. Ouch. Meow. Ouch. The Silver Cat looked at the Snow Wolf howling on the ground, stretched out its claws and licked it with its tongue. Meow. Ouch. In an instant, the battle began. The two white clothes seemed to turn into streams of light, and the entire courtyard was instantly reduced to ruins. At dawn, one cat and one wolf finally stopped. The Silver Cat lost a lot of hair and was dirty all over. And Xuelang wasn't much better either, with wounds all over his body. Meow. The Silver Cat looked at the Snow Wolf and growled lowly. Snow Wolf was not to be outdone. Just as the battle was about to continue, there was the sound of the door lock opening outside the door. The weather is so nice and I'm in a great mood. Lu Yu hummed a little tune with a smile on his face. He got up early this morning, and as soon as he got there, he heard some great news. The master of the palace said that he would personally start a 10-day special training for these geniuses who were going to compete in the local galaxy group. And there will be many elders as sparring partners. Lu Yu was still thinking at first, wouldn't he be bored in these 20 days? But now it seems that I have worried too much. And it seems that the mansion will come up with other good things this time. Lu Yu didn't know exactly what it was, but he said it was a good thing. Presumably with the financial resources of Galaxy Mansion, it is impossible to come up with some hot chicken to fool myself and others, right? Thinking like this, Lu Yu felt better and pushed the door open. The next moment, the entire door, including the wall, collapsed. Lu Yu looked at the ruined yard and the Meow and Wolf standing in the middle of the yard, his eyes a little dull. What happened? My yard is gone? I must have made a mistake because I consumed too much yesterday. Lu Yu smiled and turned to leave. Just halfway through, his feet suddenly hung in the air. Wait, something seems wrong. Lu Yu wiped his eyes and looked back. Silver Cat and Snow Wolf were staring at Lu Yu with fearful expressions on their faces. Lu Yu's face turned dark instantly. It's your uncle's. It's my yard. Lu Yu's voice pierced the sky and could be heard from several surrounding mountains. They looked towards Lu Yu's courtyard with doubts in their eyes. Why is Lu Yu's courtyard gone? It should be that his cultivation has fluctuated too much. This is the first time I've seen a guy who demolished an entire yard. In the yard, Lu Yu looked at the debris around him, his heart bleeding. Gone, gone. The walls are all gone. Opposite Lu Yu, a meow and a dog sat obediently on the ground. What are you two doing? Chapter 0317 Worthy of Encouragement, by Mo's Happiness. What are you two doing? Lu Yu was so angry. Ma Dan himself didn't come back for just one night, and his home was completely gone? I can understand Snow Wolf a little bit, but what the hell are you? Lu Yu looked at the Silver Cat. The Silver Cat used to have beautiful hair, but now it's dirty. Seeing this, Lu Yu became more convinced of the fact. Ergo, you bullied Xiaju, right? Lu Yu looked at Snow Wolf. Ouch. Snow Wolf stretched out his claws and pointed at himself aggrievedly. Wounds appeared one after another, and some were oozing blood. Lu Yu. I understand, you must have bullied Xiaju and then couldn't beat him, right? Ouch. Snow Wolf screamed even more miserably, as if he had been greatly wronged. The silver cat also meowed. The meow and the dog seemed to be competing, with their voices getting louder and faster. Lu Yu just watched quietly, and a dagger appeared in his hand. Suddenly, the meow and the dog became quiet. It's so annoying. Lu Yu looked at his yard and sighed. Inexplicably, he felt a little sad. I have raised this kind of mythical beast. Every time I go out, I have to be careful whether my home is still there or not. But after all, it is day and night defense, and it is difficult to guard against domestic thieves. Sighing, Lu Yu resisted the urge to open a dog meat hotpot restaurant and contacted Elder Han again, saying that he would pay for the repair of the yard. This payment would cost 300 star cores. Forget it, it's not expensive. Lu Yu's expression calmed down again. I thought it was very expensive, but it turned out to be just this. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yun Zhong Mu Shui. Chapter 415. If you two dare to tear down your home again, don't blame me for being ruthless. If you want to demolish it, you go to the next yard to demolish it. Do you hear me? Lu Yu stretched out his hand and pointed to a certain mountain in the distance. A meow and a dog responded immediately. Meow. Ouch. Lu Yu expressed that he was very satisfied. From the eyes of the two beasts, he could see the belief that the mission would be achieved. Good. Very good. Worth encouraging. And on the top of a mountain in the distance, a genius couldn't help but shudder. It's such a sunny day, why do you suddenly feel an inexplicable chill? The genius looked at the big sun in the sky with a puzzled expression. On Lu Yu's side, after contacting the yard for repairs, he repeatedly asked Snow Wolf and Silver Cat, then turned and left. By the way, he also took away the intimate clothes that Snow Wolf had hidden. He is too sensitive. If the yard repairs are found out, he will not be able to clean up everything. Heading towards the mansion master's residence, Lu Yu stepped in. The apse of Sing Sing Mansion. The master of the palace lives here, and many elders also live in this palace complex. Master of the palace. Lu Yu stood at the door and called out. Before the waiter could go in and talk to the master of the palace, there was a voice. Come in. Okay. Lu Yu stepped into the palace. What shocked him was that the master of the palace was actually combing his hair. Lu Yu. Lu Yu, what's the matter with you? The palace master looked at Lu Yu through the mirror. Seeing this, Lu Yu spoke quickly. I have something to do. I need to go back to the God-given star with Lan. I may have to come back in 2 days. Yes, but you'd better come back within 2 days. The special training scheduled in 2 days will begin. The palace master warned. Lu Yu nodded, I know this. Are there any stronger opponents in other galaxies? More than a little stronger. The palace master shook his head. There are too many geniuses from other galaxies this time, and there seems to be a galaxy that is rumored to be extinct, and there are geniuses competing. Destroyed galaxy, Lu Yu was stunned. Seeing this, the master of the palace put down his comb. The meaning of the extinct galaxy is that there is no life in that galaxy. It was once a member of the local galaxy group, but later due to some reasons, it completely became dead, and no one mentioned it anymore. It's just that this time, in that galaxy, a genius suddenly walked out of it and asked to participate. Originally, the big names in the local galaxy group were not allowed to participate. After all, this galaxy is almost no longer under the command of the local galaxy group, but what? Lu Yu looked curious. Forget it, Telling you now will only increase the pressure on you. I will naturally tell you when you go there. The palace master seemed to have thought of something and shook his head. This made Lu Yu very uncomfortable. Depend on. It's really uncomfortable to talk halfway to whet my appetite. But since the palace master didn't say anything, there was no point in asking further, so he simply nodded. I understand. I'm leaving now and will be back in 2 days. Okay, please be safe on the road. Do you need me to send an elder to go with you? The master of the palace looked at Lu Yu. She was very concerned about Lu Yu's safety. There are only less than 20 days left for the competition in this galaxy to begin, and she doesn't want anything to happen to Lu Yu. Lu Yu waved his hand. Just kidding, I am sending the 10th generation God-given queen back this time. The 10th generation God-given queen who has disappeared for so long appears, and no one knows what kind of waves it will cause. Okay, then be careful. When the palace master saw Lu Yu's refusal, he didn't force anything. She was also curious about what secrets Lu Yu had, but she didn't deliberately pursue it. After leaving Galaxy Mansion, Lu Yu found Lan. Let's go, Lan. Okay, God. Lan nodded. Seeing the two of them leaving, Ziying felt a little envious for some reason. I want to go too. Ziying said. Ah, God. Lan looked at Lu Yu, obviously hoping that Lu Yu would agree. Lu Yu didn't think much about this. It would be okay for a silly girl like Ziying to go with her. Relieve boredom on the road. Otherwise, my body might be a little unbearable when I go all the way with Lan, a man and a woman. This girl is full of that kind of stuff. Not long after, the three of them boarded the warship at the same time. The next moment, the warship turned into a stream of light and headed towards the God-given star. The news of Lu Yu's departure spread like wildfire without knowing when. The moment countless people heard the news, a big stone hanging in their hearts dropped. Some people even couldn't help crying with joy. This guy is gone, he's finally gone. Yes. He is finally gone. We can be free for a while. Ha ha ha. Let me laugh for a while first. Everyone at SpecialAbilities is extremely lucky. And to say who is the most relaxed, it is Mo. In a small courtyard, Mo let out a sigh of relief with a bright smile on his face. Lu Yu will go out this time, for as little as 2 days or as long as several days. He will definitely not come back. It is a rare good time. With that said, a tea set appeared in Mo's hand. Above him is a new pavilion. While washing tea and admiring the scenery, Mo has never felt that the world is so beautiful. Sure enough, the days without that guy are comfortable. Mo laughed. At this moment, there was a knock on the door. Mo opened the door. Outside the door stood a dog and a cat. Chapter 0318 How to Wake Up Requires the Essence of God. Lu Yu, who had already left the galaxy, had no idea that the galaxy government was cheering for his departure. He didn't even know that Mo was about to despair because of the snow wolf. The God-given star is almost here. Lu Yu looked at the star field in front of him with a calm expression. This voyage took most of the day. The speed of the warship was extremely fast, just a little slower than the original arc. Lan stood next to Lu Yu, also looking happy. Yes, I haven't been home for a long time. Only a dozen days. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Shui. Chapter 416. Lu Yu said. Hearing this, Lan blinked. I've never been out of the house for so long before. All right. Lu Yu accepted the facts. Beside her, Ziying was also looking expectantly at the distant star field. This was her first time to God's gift star, and she was really surprised. And soon, the ancient ship approached the God-given star. A conch appeared in Ian's hand. She blew the conch and made a melodious sound. And in the God-given star, the Queen of the Gods and a group of senior officials of the gods were originally discussing matters in the main hall. The moment she heard the sound of the conch, her eyes were shocked. Lanner is back. Not only was she surprised, but other senior officials were also surprised. Didn't Lan leave with God? Now that she's back, doesn't that mean God is back too? Suddenly, many senior officials were extremely surprised. The God-given queen was the first to lead the way out, and behind her, all the senior officials followed. In the sky, Lu Yu looked at the God-given city below, thinking with his eyes. When the God-sent queen saw the ancient ship and Lu Yu standing on the bow, she knelt down without any hesitation. "Welcome God back," she said excitedly. Behind her, hundreds of senior executives spoke out. "Welcome God back." This scene naturally attracted the attention of the entire God-given city. Without hesitation, everyone knelt towards the sky. Lu Yu couldn't help but shake his head when he saw this scene. Alas, the life of a genius is indeed so simple and boring. Next to Lu Yu, Xing couldn't help but open her mouth. This. Sister Xing, Lu Shen's ancestors helped our Shenxi clan back then, so we Shenxi clan respect Lu Shen very much. Lan said with a smile. She knew that Lu Yu didn't like her identity being exposed, so she explained. When Xing heard this, she suddenly felt enlightened. No wonder. It's no wonder why the God-given clan calls them Lu Yushan. It's no wonder why Lu Yu is so strong. To be able to have the God-given clan be so respectful, the strength of Lu Yu's ancestor back then was probably extremely terrifying. Thinking that she had thought everything through, Xing's eyes became filled with emotion. Lu Yu, that's it? Lu Yu. What is this girl thinking about again? Secretly vomiting blood, Lu Yu took the two girls down. Queen of the gods, come with me. Lu Yu didn't talk too much and directly motioned for the God-given queen to follow him. Of course, the Queen of Gods saw what Lu Yu meant and entered the inner hall alone with Lu Yu. When many elders saw this, they guarded the surroundings closely. Obviously, when God comes back this time, he cannot simply come back for a visit. There must be something very important. In the inner hall, Queen Goddess knelt on the ground and looked at Lu Yu respectfully. God, do you have anything to say? Lu Yu looked at the God-gifted queen kneeling on the ground, his eyelids twitching. This God-gifted clan probably likes to kneel too much. Seeing that he had not walked a few steps, he knelt down again. Actually, it's nothing. It's just related to a certain queen of your God-given clan. Lu Yu sat down comfortably on a chair. She can kneel down if she likes, and she can't persuade her to do so. When the Queen of Gods heard this, she looked slightly surprised. God, are you curious about the life story of that queen? That's not true. Lu Yu waved his hand. I'm talking about the 10th generation of God-given queen. Lu Yu looked at the God-given queen. When the Queen of Gods heard this, she couldn't help but tremble. God, you are asking about the 10th generation God-given queen. It is difficult for me to answer this for you. There are very few records in the genealogy about the 10th generation of the God-given queen. The Queen of Gods lowered her head, as if she was afraid of Lu Yu's blame for this matter. Seeing this, Lu Yu didn't say much nonsense. He waved his hand, and the next moment, a woman's body was suspended in the air. Her eyes were closed tightly and her hands were placed in front of her, as if she was sleeping quietly. This is the 10th generation queen of your clan, Lu Yu said. The moment God-sent queen saw this woman, she was stunned for a moment. He reacted quickly. With her strength, there is no need to explore too much. That kind of resonance from direct bloodline can make her sure. This is definitely the 10th generation of God-given queen. Moreover, God has no reason to lie to himself. Damn it! Who did this? He dared to insult our queen. The God-given queen looked at the woman's disheveled clothes and instantly became angry. Seeing this, Lu Yu couldn't help but cough slightly. I did it? Ah, this. The God-given queen's expression became awkward. She quickly knelt down again and lowered her head deeply. It is an honor for our ancestors to receive God's presence. Lu Yu. Holy shit. I really didn't do anything while it was hot. Why do you all think that way? I didn't do anything to her. I believe in God. Lu Yu. Your sincere tone is so sincere that it makes me feel like you are lying to me. Forget it, don't talk about this, your ancestors still have a glimmer of hope, are you sure of saving them? Lu Yu brought up the topic. The Queen of Gods was horrified when she heard this. God, you mean, the ancestors are still alive? The God-given queen's body was trembling. She never thought that the ancestor of her clan would be alive after disappearing for so long. She was overjoyed. And the consequences of this were naturally obvious. Lu Yu looked at the God-given queen kneeling on the ground, his expression thoughtful. She was already big, still kneeling, and still trembling. From his perspective, this. Well, she is indeed still alive. See if you can save her. Lu Yu forced his gaze back. Upon hearing this, the God-given queen stepped forward and sensed it carefully. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 417. God, the ancestor's injury, seems a little strange. The God-gifted queen's eyes were filled with confusion. Well, I also know that I am very confused, so I specially tested you, Lu Yu said without blushing or heartbeat. In fact, with my level as a three-legged cat, what can I see? At most I can see my measurements. The God-given queen nodded seriously. Then I must not have disappointed God. No, I will test you again. Do you have any way to cure it? Lu Yu continued. After hearing this, Queen Goddess suddenly became serious. The ancestor's body is not in too much trouble. The whole body should still be in the same state as when she left. It seems that she has sealed herself in a strange way. And now, the soul consciousness has also been banned. This is why the ancestors are still sleeping until now. If we want the ancestors to wake up, we may be able to put the ancestors into the ancestral land. After a few decades, the ancestors should wake up. The God-given queen looked serious. Lu Yu was immediately shocked. Decades? What's wrong, God? Queen Goddess was a little confused. Oh, it's nothing. Didn't you think of a shorter way? Lu Yu seemed to be a teacher admonishing students. The Queen of Gods was stunned when she heard this. Soon, she thought of something. Yes, it's just. Just what, say? Well, I just need your essence. Chapter 0319. It's so comfortable, God is so awesome. Need my essence. If you mention this, I won't feel sleepy. It's not impossible to do it while it's hot. Well, God, if I want to awaken the ancestors, I may need some of your blood. The words of the God-given queen instantly made Lu Yu feel dull. How much? He said half-heartedly. The Queen of Gods did not notice Lu Yu's abnormality, and thought about it for a while. You drop blood into the ancestor's mouth. If the ancestor's body reacts, that should be enough. When Lu Yu heard this, after thinking for a moment, a small dagger appeared in his hand. This is, Lu Yu hesitated. It hurts a little to cut myself. Help me. After thinking for a while, Lu Yu looked at the God-given queen. The Queen of Gods did not hesitate after hearing this and stepped forward. God, can I help you? Yes, help me solve the problem. Lu Yu handed the dagger over and tried his best not to look at it. The God-given queen couldn't help but feel nervous as she held the dagger. She carefully brought the dagger close to Lu Yu's finger, and then, the knife fell. Trench. Lu Yu couldn't help but let out an exclamation, and Queen Godsend was so frightened that she knelt on the ground. God, please forgive me. The Divine Queen's body was trembling. Lu Yu took a deep breath and motioned for him to get up. I just suddenly realized something, so I was surprised. In fact, the wound you made didn't hurt. Lu Yu put his trembling hands behind his back and said calmly. In fact, the blood sprayed out like a high-pressure water gun just now almost made Lu Yu faint on the spot. I lost it. The long finger of the aorta is up. Forced to calm down, Lu Yu stuffed his finger into the mouth of the 10th generation God-given queen. The next moment, he felt his fingers being surrounded by a ball of warmth. Hey, what a strange rush. Lu Yu was confused. Why is this mouth so hot? At this moment, a scene that shocked Lu Yu even more happened. He actually felt a suction coming from him. This woman is sucking her finger. Lu Yu looked at the 10th generation God-given queen with some disbelief. And as she sucked, her fingers spurted blood at a speed that couldn't be said to be that of a high-pressure water gun. It's simply a super invincible high-pressure water gun. The kind that kills a person. God, your face seems a little pale. The Queen of Gods was a little worried. Seeing this, Lu Yu waved his hand. I haven't been exposed to much sunshine these days, so I'm a little white. I see. The God-given queen nodded and looked at the 10th generation God-given queen. Visible to the naked eye, the woman is recovering quickly. The first thing to recover is the complexion, from pale to flushed. After that, it's breathing. My chest started to rise and fall and my heart was beating rapidly. The God-given queen was extremely excited. God, we're almost there. Well, I know. Lu Yu felt a little weak. He really doubted that this cut would cut off a major artery. This blood, why is it bleeding so fast? Although it is quite comfortable to hold it like this, but... No, men can't say no. Lu Yu steeled himself and stared at the woman. But the more he looked at it, the more his body felt hollowed out. At this moment, the God-given queen spoke up. God, it should be okay, the ancestor's body has been awakened. Lu Yu was waiting for this sentence. As soon as he heard the voice of the Queen of Gods, he pulled it out without any hesitation. That's fine. Lu Yu calmly used the power of the source of wood to restore the wound. When will she wake up? After successfully stopping the bleeding, Lu Yu asked a key question. The God-gifted queen hesitated for a moment. The body has been awakened. Now we need to awaken the soul. It should take some time, but it won't be too long. Once the ancestors wake up, I will notify you as soon as possible, God-sent queen said. Lu Yu nodded after hearing this. Let's go. Okay, God-sent queen looked at Lu Yu. Lu Yu, let's go. Good God sent the queen. Lu Yu. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yun Zhonmu Shui. Chapter 418. I mean you go first. Ah, then I'll go first. The God-given queen reacted and immediately disappeared here. Seeing the God-given queen leave, Lu Yu breathed a sigh of relief and sat down on the chair. I almost squeezed myself dry. After taking a deep breath, Lu Yu felt better and looked at the 10th generation God-given queen again. It will take some time to wake up, I hope I don't have to wait too long. Lu Yu shook his head and forced himself to walk out of the inner hall. In the outer hall, everyone was waiting for Lu Yu to appear. When Lu Yu came out and saw so many people, his expression was still calm. God, your face. Lan was a little worried. Seeing this, Lu Yu waved his hand. I'm fine, I'm fine. Well, God is the best. Lan smiled happily. Lu Yu. Looking at everyone, Lu Yu didn't say anything and went back to rest. This rest lasted for a day. The next day, when Lu Yu got up, he asked Lan to call the God-given queen. What's the situation? The ancestor has been sent to the ancestral land. I believe it won't take long for her to wake up. Yes, Lu Yu nodded and pondered. After a moment, he said. Then you continue. I'm going back to the Galaxy Palace now. If she wakes up, just notify me. Okay, God, I got it. The God-given queen knelt down again. Lu Yu didn't stay any longer and took Lan away from here. There is still a special training in the Galaxy Palace. I have to hurry back. There is no point in waiting here. Mother, I will come back to see you later. Lan smiled happily. The God-given queen shook her head. Just serve God well. You don't need to worry about me. Ziying looked at the mother and daughter from the side. I don't know why, but I always feel weird. The three returned to the ancient ship. As the ancient ship crossed the sky, they quickly disappeared from the God-given star and returned to the Galaxy Palace. Chapter 0320 By Mo's Collapse, the content of special training. Galaxy Mansion. During the 2 days since Lu Yu left, the entire Galaxy Mansion was peaceful. It was so peaceful. Nothing happened, and everyone was content. Of course, this did not include Bai Mo. At this moment, Bai Mo squatted on his bed with an expressionless face. Yes, on the bed. This time it was not a matter of a small pavilion. It was the yard. The whole yard was gone. Disappeared. Evaporated from the face of the earth. Bai Mo looked at the wolf that was digging holes on the ground and fell into despair of life. What was even more desperate was the cat that was still fishing in the pond at this moment. After fishing it out, it licked it and put it back. Oh my God! As expected. What kind of owner there is, what kind of dog and cat there is. Looking at the white paper in his hand, Bai Mo really wanted to cry. Brother Bai Mo, I have to leave for 2 days for something I ask you to take care of. Ergo Xiaoju, I will waive 1 period of protection fee. Don't worry, your brother who has lived with you for a lifetime, Lu Yu. To be honest, Bai Mo didn't want to give this dog and cat, but the temptation of the protection fee was too great, so Bai Mo opened the door with a fluke. Until now. Bai Mo looked around, and the wind of early spring was a little cold. The icy cold mixed with the fragrance of the soil, which was really the best taste in the world. Just when Bai Mo was faintly collapsed. Suddenly, a voice came from outside. Hey! Lu Yu is back again. What? Lu Yu is back. Bai Mo was immediately excited when he heard it. Great. The 2 ancestors can be sent away. Without any hesitation, Bai Mo walked to the side of the snow wolf. Ergo. Before he finished speaking, the snow wolf kicked with its hind legs, and Bai Mo ate a mouthful of dirt. Awoo! The snow wolf looked at Bai Mo in confusion. Bai Mo closed his eyes in pain, revealing a mouthful of white teeth. You can go now, your master is back. Meow. In the distance, the silver cat was extremely excited when he heard this voice. It stretched out its claws, and the next moment, all the fish in the pond were killed. Bai Mo. I can bear it. Forcibly suppressing the grief and anger in his heart, Bai Mo took a cat and a dog and went outside. Outside, Lu Yu jumped off the ancient ship and looked at the shocked eyes around him. Just as he was about to sigh, Bai Mo's figure appeared in the distance. Lu Yu, this is your battle pet. Bai Mo stood still and looked at Lu Yu expressionlessly. The snow wolf and the silver cat got excited and rushed towards Lu Yu. Seeing this, Lu Yu looked a little confused. Brother Bai Mo, what's wrong with you? I exempted you from the first phase of protection fee. Bai Mo. He now suspected that Lu Yu was just a bad guy who messed up his mentality. The first phase of protection fee is not as valuable as my yard. Seeing Bai Mo's angry look, Lu Yu sighed. I didn't expect it, Bai Mo, My dog just has a big appetite, why are you like this? Lu Yu's words attracted everyone's attention. But no one said anything. Now the name of the demolition team leader of Swilang has long been famous. Who the hell doesn't know that the dog Lu Yu raised loves to destroy the yard? At this moment, everyone couldn't help but sympathize with Bai Mo. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yun Zhonmu Shui. Chapter 419. It's miserable. This is really miserable. With a cold snort, Bai Mo turned around and left. Seeing this, Lu Yu was shocked. Damn, is this guy really angry? Brother Bai Mo, if one period doesn't work, then 2 periods. Bai Mo didn't speak. 3 periods. Still didn't speak. 4 periods. His footsteps stopped. 5 periods. Lu Yu took advantage of the victory to pursue. Bai Mo turned around and looked at the snow wolf. If it's 5 periods, I can still foster it for 2 more days. When Bai Mo said this, he didn't feel embarrassed at all. 1 period is a blood loss, 2 periods are not a loss, 3 periods are a small profit, and 4 periods are a steady profit. 5 periods, Lu Yu made a lot of money. Take a few more orders, and you can be free. Seeing this, Lu Yu laughed. Is there anything in the world that can't be solved by loan exemption? 1 period doesn't work, then 5 periods. Hey, is this the power of money? Thinking of this, Lu Yu let go away again, leaving Bai Mo alone in the wind. I seem to have been fooled by this bastard again. In the yard. When Lu Yu came back, the whole yard had been repaired and was as good as new, and Lan and Xing had gone back. Looking at the brand new yard, Lu Yu was too lazy to tell go. He took out a dagger and stuck it behind the door. Remember, if you dismantle it again. Before Lu Yu finished speaking, the next moment, the snow wolf jumped up and held the dagger in its mouth. Awoo! It tilted its head and looked at Lu Yu. Lu Yu. You are pretending to be your sister. Get down from me. Lu Yu slapped the dog's head with a palm, and the next moment the snow wolf fell to the ground and pretended to be dead. Humph! Lu Yu clapped his hands. The silver cat standing on Lu Yu's shoulder meowed happily. Lu Yu also gave it a slap. Don't cheat on others. Meow. This time the voice was a little low and aggrieved. Seeing this, Lu Yu didn't say much. He spent the whole afternoon practicing. There was no way, the mansion master didn't notify him and others to go over, so he could only practice. At night, Lu Yu's door was knocked, and Mingzi stood outside with a nervous look on his face. Lu Yu, mother asked us all to go over. Is it about to start? Lu Yu thought for a moment and quickly followed. Mingzi was obviously very nervous, and his hand couldn't help but grab it. Lu Yu, I heard from mother that this special training is very special. Special? Lu Yu was stunned again. No matter how special it is, how special it can be. Tell me in detail. I'm afraid because I don't know. I'll know later. Okay then, Lu Yu said helplessly. Not long after, the two rushed to the front of the hall. At this moment, other people have already come here. Not long after Lu Yu arrived, Bai Mo also came late. So far, all 11 people have arrived. What puzzled Lu Yu was that where were the mansion lord and the elders? Just as he was hesitating, suddenly, a sound of war drums came from the hall. The next moment, 11 people in black appeared on the steps of the hall without knowing when. This scared everyone. Isn't this Elder Han? Is this Elder Qin Luo? Elder Sun? Everyone was surprised. Why are all the elders dressed like this today? Lu Yu looked even more puzzled. And soon, the figure of the mansion lord appeared. She was dressed in formal clothes and stood in front of the elders. Very good, everyone is here. The mansion lord had a smile on his face. But no matter how Lu Yu looked at it, he felt that this smile was not kind. The mansion lord took a close look at Lu Yu and smiled slightly. This special training is definitely specially prepared for everyone by the Galaxy Palace. Because of the changes in the ancient land, everyone's current strength can be said to be seriously below standard. So, after discussing with the elders, I decided to make up for all the progress that everyone has delayed. The special training is very simple. Led by Elder Son of the Discipline Hall, the 11 elders will suppress their realm to a level 3 times higher than you and hunt you down. We will not bring you back until you are seriously injured and on the verge of death. We will use the medicinal soup made from special medicines to cleanse your body and develop your body's potential to the maximum extent. Repeat this for 15 days until your strength reaches the standard. The voice of the palace master was very calm. Everyone was shocked when they heard this. What the hell? Special training, is it that the elders hunt down themselves and others one by one? Or do they hunt you down until you are seriously injured and on the verge of death, and then send you to take a medicinal bath? A total of 15 days? This. Everyone shuddered. The reason is very simple, this is the elders chasing and killing. They are 3 small realms higher, how can they beat them? They will not stop until they are seriously injured and on the verge of death. Everyone feels a little scared just thinking about it. There is no need to think that they will definitely be slaughtered. The strength of the elders can easily crush them. Even Bai Mo frowned, he didn't expect the content of the special training to be like this. Mingzi grabbed Lu Yu's arm tightly. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yun Zhonmu Shui. Chapter 420. Lu Yu, we will be beaten half to death. Beat half to death? Lu Yu's expression was a little strange. He looked at the mansion master and waved his hand. Lu Yu, do you have any questions? The mansion master was a little surprised. To be honest, she guessed that there would be people who could not accept it, after all, no one would like to be beaten half to death. But what she didn't expect was that this person would be Lu Yu. However, the next moment Lu Yu's words shocked the mansion master. Mansion master, if I beat the elders half to death, do you have to take responsibility? Chapter 0321. This is too arrogant, he must be beaten severely. Mansion master, if I beat the elders half to death, do you have to take responsibility? Lu Yu's words made the surroundings quiet, and you could hear a pin drop. Everyone looked at Lu Yu in horror, their heads buzzing. What is this guy talking about? Is he dreaming? Do you have to take responsibility for beating the elders half to death? Are you crazy? Not only the genius, but also many elders were stunned. The palace master looked puzzled. Lu Yu, what did you just say? I said I beat the elders half to death, do you want to take responsibility? Lu Yu said helplessly. He found that these people could not hear what he said clearly. Hiss. As soon as Lu Yu repeated his words, everyone couldn't help but take a breath. Around Lu Yu, everyone subconsciously moved away. Even Mingzi looked at Lu Yu blankly. Lu Yu, aren't you afraid of being beaten to death? Mingzi couldn't believe it. Lu Yu, how dare he say such a thing? This is an elder. The realm is at the peak of the Yuanchu realm, and some have even entered the Tai realm. Suppressing to the high third realm, it is a complete crushing massacre. Lu Yu, dare to say this. Many elders couldn't hold it back for a moment. Lu kid, I admit that you are very talented and powerful, but you don't take us old guys seriously, do you? Arrogant. You kid is very arrogant. This is the first time I want to attack a junior like this. A large group of elders were so angry that they blew their beards and glared. They have been in the galaxy for so long, and they have never seen a junior who speaks so arrogantly. In the past, which of these juniors was not polite? Even if the elders behind their tribe came, they had to show respect to them. The title of the Elder of the Galaxy Palace is not empty. And now Lu Yu's words really made these elders secretly angry. The Lord of the Palace was silent for a long time. She looked at Lu Yu and had a headache. Lu Yu, you can only wish you good luck. The Lord of the Palace didn't know what to say. What else can she say? Even she didn't believe Lu Yu's words. Too exaggerated. Even if Lu Yu was gifted, it would be impossible for him to cross such a big gap and attack the elders. At most, he can escape with his life, but there is no way he can injure the elders. Lu Yu tilted his head when he heard this. Then, Lord, you mean, I injured the elders, and it's okay? Lord. Many elders jumped up and down. Lu kid. Come. I'll hunt you down. You injured me, and I not only don't blame you, but I'll give you a star core. No. I'll do it. I want to suppress this kid. You can't do it, so I'll do it. I want to let Lu kid know what it means to be better than others. All the elders started fighting for this matter, and everyone wanted to teach Lu Yu a lesson. This is too arrogant. Do you really think that if you can suppress your peers, you can suppress the older generation? Lu Yu waved his hand when he saw this. What's there to fight for? One is too slow, why don't we do it together? As soon as these words came out, there was silence again. All the geniuses looked at Lu Yu in horror. What kind of bullshit is this? One is too slow, why not do it together? My mind is blown. Lu Yu, I finally know where the gap between you and me is. Bai Mo suddenly looked at Lu Yu with a serious face. Lu Yu was a little puzzled. Where? In pretending to be cool, Bai Mo said seriously. In an instant, everyone around was trying hard to hold back their laughter. Apart from anything else, at this moment, the eyes of the 11 elders looking at Lu Yu were quite unfriendly. Everyone, don't fight, I will help you cultivate Lu Yu. Elder Sun suddenly stood up, staring at Lu Yu with a smile on his face. It's just that anyone can see it. This smile is a bit creepy. Lu Yu is going to be miserable. All the geniuses felt inexplicably relieved. Elder Sun. A Tai realm expert. He is responsible for Lu Yu. Can Lu Yu still run? For 15 days, Lu Yu probably soaked in the medicine barrel every day. He didn't come out after soaking, and lay in it again. The geniuses were in a good mood. Lu Yu looked at Elder Sun seriously and nodded. Elder Sun, thank you, I will be gentle when the time comes. There was silence all around. Everyone now has a clear understanding of Lu Yu's ability to commit suicide. The Lord of the Palace couldn't help rubbing his eyebrows. Okay, I have made things clear, and the elders will each choose a genius as the target of pursuit. After the words fell, many elders pointed out a genius. This was all discussed long ago. However, the faces of many elders were obviously unwilling. It was meaningless to hunt down these little guys. It would be more interesting to hunt down Lu Yu.